Don't talk to me.
On the pod, don't talk to me.
Yes, please do not respond to any of my questions or my comments.
Don't touch me.
All Jason responses must be routed through either Dr. Brockledurk or Sean.
That's right.
Right, it has to be.
Sean, please ask Jason if he's interested in Master Chief butt.
Sean, please tell Karch that only if he's not, and that I also called dibs though.
Wake up, everybody. Today is April 7th, and we are Never Free to Play, a podcast where we talk about all the video games we wish we were playing. I'm one of your hosts, Karch Palaski, joined by my co-hosts, Sean Mybers, Jason Wright, and Dr. Brockledurk. If you decide you like us and you want to clap those master cheeks, surprise.
I'm so ashamed of that line.
Oh, it's too good, and it's got to be
You
the
can follow us
episode
at Never
title,
Free to
too,
Play
yeah.
on all your social medias. Something. Karch, how are you doing?
I'm doing awful, actually. I feel like
Aw.
garbage. I've made it 32 years in this planet, and I've never had seasonal spring allergies, but that's changed now as I approach 33. And I'm sad, and I don't feel well. I took the day off, but you can't outrun allergies. Your body can't do anything. Like, it can't kill them. Like, it kills a cold or a virus or bacterium. And I don't have allergy medication on hand, and I'm too lazy to go get some. So I was just kind of miserable.
You got
all
a
day.
filter in the house? An air filter?
No, not separate from the filter in my air conditioning.
Yeah, I've taken the buying, one of the higher end ones for my air conditioning, and then my bedroom has a separate air filter because otherwher I historically will have very bad allergy problems.
Might be
Especially
worth
when I was
looking into.
living in DC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or just get some antihistamine.
But that'll be step number one. But yeah, I think it could be allergies, or it could just be, I'm coming down from my Karch madness high. It takes a lot of spiritual energy to just maintain that level of insanity. And this is just the toll it took on my body. My lifespan's been shortened considerably.
I hope you're ashamed of some of the things you said last month.
I wasn't. I meant every single word.
Mostly what you said about Skyrim, you
Yeah.
SOB.
Also, when you gave me a stomach virus on purpose.
I did.
No, you had
That's
that coming.
right.
I feel no regret about that.
I mean, either way, it was my fault. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I went running earlier. Running's getting easier. It makes me feel like I'm, healthier. So yay for that.
Good. Flaunting his good health in front of me. Jason.
Yes.
I hope you're over your stomach virus.
I am. No, that was only a week thing. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Also, isn't this the first podcast that we're all four on in 2022?
No.
Oh, it's not?
Maybe.
Hmm.
Didn't seem
Anyway,
accurate, but maybe.
That's pretty cool. We lost 2 subscribers, so we're almost back down to 69, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we were up at 73 at one point? I didn't realize we were
I
ever
think
above
so.
72.
No, I think we were at 72.
Huh.
We only lost 1 sub.
Yeah. I'll be over dramatic.
Question: has your dog ever just been making eye contact with you, and then they just give you that little wink?
Sure.
Because I feel like it's possible that dogs they know more than they're letting on, and that wink is just their way of being like, "Yeah, I'm in on it too."
Yes. Or, you and Toby are just so perfectly mentally synced up that, you get each other.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are
Robert.
definitely on the same wavelength. Jason and Toby.
We have the same attention span.
Exactly.
Robert, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm hobbling along here. I just got done thinking about never running again. And,
Yeah, that's right. How's your knee?
I still can't use it to go upstairs, but I have been given the clear that it is unlikely the damage in the cartilage that won't heal. So I just got to stay off it for, let's say, 3 months.
Oh my
That's a long
gosh.
time.
Yeah. So
I just want to
That's
say
rough.
to the runners that have knee and back issues, but you love the cardio and the adventure of it, if you're not totally opposed to it, totally look into getting a bike. Because when I was running back in the day, it started to hurt my back, and the bike's been a godsend.
You can also read while you bike.
Yeah, I'll
I
probably go to
do
that at some point.
Yeah. But
Housekeeping.
housekeeping.
Like, subscribe, and follow. This is episode 68. Okay, yeah. So we got a lot of good stuff for you to watch. A lot of good gameplay things. We stream. That's all up on our YouTube channel. And then we've got a couple of game series playthroughs. Sean has done a magnificent job on Final Fantasy VII, the original, that he played through with his wife recently. That's a good one. And Karch is making his way through Chrono Trigger. I am lazy. I only made 3 episodes of the Mass Effect playthrough that I was doing.
You also only made 3 episodes of the Final Fantasy VII before I had to take over. So 3 seems to be your peak.
Oh, so I should probably not play any game that I can't beat in 3 sittings.
Remember, if anything else, as opposed to Valve, you can at least count to the number 3.
See, there you go. I'm one up on them.
I've got a BioShock series coming. I should be recording that this weekend, so look out for that.
Nice.
And Sean follows through, so you're in good hands if you actually watch his stuff. Unlike Karch and me. Although Karch has still got me beat.
In what?
Follow through. Like, you've made a lot more of that Chrono Trigger, and even though you took a little break from it, like you're still going.
I am. I'm gonna finish it one day. Then I'll never have to play it again. It's gonna be great.
But they just put out the Chrono Cross remaster.
That's different. Chrono Cross is a sequel.
That is true. I'm sure there's a Chrono Trigger remaster too out there, but
Wait.
not as many
Is
as you
that
think.
the new one that just came out is not related to Chrono Trigger?
It loosely. More than Final Fantasies are typically related to one another, but not as much as like an actual sequel is usually
but
related
less
to.
than Mass Effects.
Gotcha.
So like it's same people, but not all the same people, and kind of some similar themes, but not all the similar themes. It is on a whole less well received than Chrono Trigger. Oh well, a lot less well, because Chrono Trigger is literally in a lot of people's like top 3 games of all time. Whenever you ask them. But it's good, and it's only $20 on all the platforms that it's currently on, so it's cool, and it's got some weird like visual novel thing that used to be like Japan only, and they put it on this like cool satellite view technology where like it was basically online play for your Super Nintendo, but it was something they only had in Japan, and they would beam it in via satellites through your cable and all that. And so it was lost the time.
Yes. I think Gaming Historian does potentially has a video on that.
There was some cool link to. I mean, now we're off on a tangent. There was some cool like Link to the Past DLC where you could literally like play this like slightly altered version of Link to the Past with it, and for a limited time.
It's kind of the origins of the whole Master Quest thing that Zelda's picked up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is really cool. So yeah, go find some videos about that, because we certainly don't know what we're talking about. All right. So are we going to talk about what we've been playing first, or do we want to talk about Jason's Mass Effect journey first?
What we've been playing.
Okay.
Yeah. Finishing with Jason, so then he can
finish.
We roll right in.
Perfect. Sean, do you have any new interesting things you've been playing?
I've actually been playing Dragon Age Origins, which strangely enough I've never beaten.
It's fun.
Mostly because of the Circle of Magi or the Tower of Magi.
It's bad. Are you playing it on your PC or your Xbox?
I'm playing it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm playing on my Xbox One, or my Xbox Series S. Sorry, I'm playing it down in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a rogue, Dalish elf, and I am romancing Liliana, and it's a lot of fun. Basically, what I did in order to finally beat the Circle of Magi, I dropped the difficulty down to easy.
Perfect.
But that game, like, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely it's interesting. It is essentially KOTOR. It is KOTOR fantasy setting.
Yeah, but
like
still not quite as interesting.
No, it's not. But it's in terms of mechanics and and gameplay and the style of game that it is. It's basically KOTOR, which is strange because this is 2 years after I think Mass Effect.
Yeah, they're pretty contemporaneous, but yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, they're in a lot of ways in terms of gameplay and the way they approach things, they're very different games. Dragon Age is very much a 3D version of the old Infinity Engine games, your Baldur's Gates and your Icewind Dales. But no, I've been impressed. The voice acting is top notch as BioWare games have tend to be. And then, similar to how good of a job they did with world building in Mass Effect, I'm actually very impressed, despite using generic elves and dwarves, the uniqueness and kind of the depth they have here for Elden and their setting. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm almost through kind of the initial batch of quests. I think after you survive the opening little plot line there with the Grey Wardens, and I'm excited to see where it goes, because this is one that I knew always that I wanted to go back and play it, so I've done a pretty good job of avoiding spoilers. So I actually don't know how this game ends.
Cool.
Well, I must say that for this game, I won't spoil it, but that is the only game and the first game in which I played gay chicken with an elf, and now we're married.
Did you win or lose?
Well, we're married now, so
is that the assassin who sent to kill you?
Yes.
Okay, and I got him, and I almost debated just killing him, and then I relented and decided to let him join my party.
I didn't play gay chicken so much as I literally somehow accidentally romanced him. I just kept saying all the right things, and then I clicked what I thought was a really innocuous comment, and it turns out that now we're lovers. And it was good because I was a rogue.
This is like my relationship with Caden in Mass Effect 1.
Exactly. He just wanted
I was
going to
say, that must be a BioWare thing where you think you've selected something neutral or
I just thought I was being friendly. Nope, we bang now.
Because
we'll bang, okay?
You can't become an assassin. Like, your character can't learn that subclass unless you reach a certain level of relationship.
I'm trying to save up money so I can buy the Ranger subclass, because I made Quartz as my character. So.
You picked the Wood Elf type, right?
Yeah. The ones who are the ones who are out in the wild, and I'm dual wielding with a little bit of. Originally I was going to go bow, and then I decided to dual wield because I realized Liliana was better built for the bow, and so I'm figuring out the whole. I figured out the backstab mechanics, and that actually has been quite effective for me.
Nice.
I named the dog after my dog because they both have big square heads.
I forgot about the dog. Yeah, you
love
get a little
the dog.
doggy
He's so good.
companion. He is so good.
He murders all my enemies, and then he gets head scratchies.
One of the first games I played on the first PC I bought for myself and finished, horrible memory leak issues back in the day. You could only play for 2 hours before you would just get stuck forever on a loading screen, and I just had to reboot it. Pro tip though, if you ever want to replay it, because they've got all those different origins, and it's true to a lot of these kinds of games. It's not a huge spoiler, but there's variations to the ending, so you might want to see a different kind of ending. Play it on your PC because you can get a mod that lets you skip that section you're in right now without missing any of the perks. So you'll get all the goodies immediately. It was one of the first biggest mods they made because everyone hated that section so much, and it's bad. I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, that's
fun.
Another thing of BioWare games of this time, of the initial open up and go explore things. It's these all suck. Baldur's Gate 2 suffered from that.
Right.
KOTOR to a lesser extent. The initial go check out the plants and find the star maps is also kind of dull.
Agreed.
So.
Been playing anything else?
I started Dishonored. I'm actually enjoying that. I'm 2 levels into that, and then for whatever reason, I was I'm gonna go play Dragon Age randomly. But I expect I'll be bouncing back and forth between those two.
That's interesting, Sean, because I remember I thought you said that Dishonored did not look like a game you would enjoy, because really? I was like, I wanted to recommend Prey, and then I ended up thinking. I own Dishonored hard copy. I've long wanted to play it. I've just never made the time for it. Oh, okay.
You're probably thinking of me.
Somebody else.
Awesome.
I mean,
the original.
It is a little I've got this little underlying itch playing Dishonored, or irkness playing Dishonored, because there's that whole aspect of if you're not stealthy and you kill people, apparently you're gonna get a not good ending.
Yes. That's true.
And that's annoying. So I'm not enjoying that, because I killed I accidentally I thought I had my little hand crossbow out, and I had my gun out in one segment, and I fired it, and then I was well, now I got to kill these 6 people who decided to come charge me, because I had nowhere to hide.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
I'm not doing great there. But we're gonna try to persevere. But we're also probably gonna beat Dragon Age first. And then I guess I am still playing a little bit of SWTOR with Galactic Season 2 going on. So. Yeah, what I've been doing is I'm playing SWTOR because I can play that, short little hops during the week, and on the weekends I'll either play Dragon Age or Dishonored.
Sweet.
Nice.
Robert, what you been playing?
I have just logged my 90th hour in Elden Ring.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And just got out of the starting area, right?
Yeah. I've only died 5,000 times now, and
not bad.
It's great, but I'm reaching the point at which I'm starting to stray. I have a straying eye now for other video games, which means I'm reaching just about to reach my limit, which is good because I'm just about to beat it too. So,
do you have your eye on anything in particular?
Yes, and it's something I'm not normally. That's not normally in my wheelhouse, but I've been eyeing that Lego Star Wars collection of games.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
It does look really good. And I
hope
also
Wedge
wouldn't
Antilles
normally
is
play
a playable character.
it. He might be. There's a lot.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can play
He
a
has been in
lot of
past
different
ones,
characters.
so
okay.
I
Well, then
have
almost
confidence.
assuredly, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm eyeing and what I've been playing.
I feel like the sequel trilogy can only get better if it by leaning into ridiculousness. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
got that going for it.
Let's see. I have been playing mostly just Triangle Strategy and Triangle Strategy. It's a really long game. I think I'm at hour 34-ish. And I might still have like another 10 hours left. I really don't know. This game has shown an extreme amount of restraint in the pacing and the speed of which it tells its story, which is way even what I was expecting based on the demo and what the promotional material is way drier than I thought it would be. It's really good. It is. And like it avoids almost every stupid cliche that I hate about these kinds of games. And it's just really long. It's like the battles take forever. And that's just the story ones. If you want to do the side battles to grind out, materials and money and levels for some of your benched characters, that takes forever. 700 story points in between those battles, and that takes forever. But I just got through this really hefty decision. Up until that moment, every decision you make when you're making like a big decision, it's between two, and it's really not that big a deal because it's easy to get people to make the one that you want. And for the most part, it's like, okay, well, I really want to do this one. The other one doesn't have any appeal. Well, eventually they start adding 3 decisions that you can choose between. And they start to really
You've
matter.
hit the triangle of decisions.
Exactly. The triangle of the strategy has made its appearance. And even after, like, as I approach this one, it's like, things are going to get different. You might want to save on a new slot. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did that. And yeah, for sure, somebody...
That's nice of it to warn
It
you.
was. And it's like, it's definitely, things are about to snowball. And aside from some, like, this one character suddenly just making some really bizarre comments and decisions that seem completely out of character because they need someone to take this stance so that they can be, like, the one spearheading that decision. Because you got a bunch of people, but you really only have like 4 who are like leading the charge along with the main character. And, they all have opposing ideals. And you're like, all right, well, we'll vote and we'll see whoever's convictions, blah, blah, blah. But the fallout from that decision was really interesting. And there is a new game plus on this, as I learned earlier this week. And I think you get to keep everything, so I can skip the stuff I haven't that I have read, and I can just destroy the early battles in like 2 minutes. So as long as I really, really enjoy the ending and want to see the rest of them, I think I will once I'm done. But yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. Yeah, really no downsides.
I think once you're done playing it, once I finish Dragon Age, I may mooch it off. I've restrained from playing it because I don't want us to be booting each other.
Nah, I mean, shouldn't be. Haven't been playing as much as I want to, but yeah, I strongly recommend it if you want that. Like, people keep saying Game of Thrones type story, and it is, without like the bad parts of Game of Thrones where it's just stupid.
Oh,
yeah, dragons though. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wish there were even more consequences for some things because, like, for the most part, you've got your little house. You're the lord of this house, and you make these decisions and you do these things, and it's clear that a lot of characters want to do one thing, but everybody goes along with whatever the decision is, and that's kind of a plot point. Like, you're the lord, and they're going to do what you say. It's not like an anime friendship team. It's a medieval, like, hierarchy, and they're not just going to up and exactly that you would be branded a traitor, and they'd probably have to kill you. And that threat has come up, and that thing has happened. People have died for their convictions. I mean, they were still kind of my enemy, but in a different game, they would have been spared. You know, the main character would not have cut them down, or they would have survived in a really stupid, cheesy way. And that hasn't happened, and it's really cool. I wish, though, that certain characters would find something beyond the pale. Like, I made a choice that if I didn't make, this one character should hate me. And if they hate me, that like they would not want to stick around with me. And I don't know, maybe they don't. It's hard to say, but I don't know.
Maybe going into the last mission, you'll just find a knife in your back.
Maybe. That would be pretty cool. I wonder if there is a bad ending, so to speak. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Can't just really nothing bad to say about it, aside from how long it is. And I don't have anything against that. It's just taking me a while, that's all. The other game I've been playing is not a video game, and it's not even really a game at all, but it's Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards are back, guys. They are back in the schools.
I've heard that.
And my daughter has been gripped by them, and all her friends bring them on Fridays, the one day they're allowed to, and they trade during their little...
The world really is circular.
It is circular. And it's funny to hear her talk about the way that they talk about them. Like, they're definitely trading for favorites. Sure, there might be a cool foil shiny card that everybody wants just because it looks cool, but like for the most part, it's just like, I want this cute one. Well, I want this cool one, and the boys and the girls are all trading together. And
that's pretty cool.
The biggest twist is that my wife has gotten into it. You know, similar age as us. She had cards when we were all, you know, of card having age, but she's literally just on shop sites looking up like, well, I played the game and I want this one in my collection, and we've all got our binders, and she'll buy like a pack of like 50 random ones, and then we'll just like dole them out, you know, sight unseen, so that we all get, you know, an equal amount, but random ones, and then we'll trade those. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's been, you know, classic nostalgia mixed with the new of the kids these days, you know, looking at them. And
that is both crazy and adorable.
Yeah. And she said she wants to play. My daughter wants to learn how to play, and once I have enough actual cards to, because I can't find like, you can't find like a starter deck in stores, and I'm just too lazy to buy one online, so I don't have enough energies to like actually make a deck. But I doubt I'll be able to keep her attention for more than 10 minutes when she sees how dry it is, but fingers crossed.
You know, Karen just had to go out and get a starter deck because one of her patients, one of her patients she was trying to get something for, so they have it right at the hobby store, like right around the corner from us, like Forbidden something.
We were going to go there this weekend, but we might not have time, but if we do, we're going to go, because she's been wanting to go. She's like, hey, can we go to the Pokemon card? That's what she thinks is just a Pokemon card store, because we saw an ad and they had Pokemon cards in the ad. I was like, and I know they have retro game stuff too, which definitely speaks to me, obviously. So yeah, we're going to poke our head in and see what they got. So that'd be pretty cool.
And it's not expensive either. I expected starter decks to be way more. I think it was only like $30-$40 at most.
They've always been really reasonable, because they want you to get in, and then they want that $5.
Like it was so expensive as a kid, though.
It did. It did, because everything was expensive as a kid. Yeah.
Did you ever actually play the card game, Karch? Because I only ever traded for favorites. Like, at least because when I was like peak into Pokemon was probably 3rd grade, and we lived in Texas, and the goal of everybody was just like, I want a Charizard, I want a Pikachu, I want a Blastoise, I want a Venusaur. That was like it. That was money. Physically,
no, I never played the card game. I played the there was a Game Boy Color game called the Pokemon Trading Card Game, and it was
oh my gosh, that was amazing.
It was so good.
One of the best card game games.
Oh. It is. And so it was just a Pokemon, like they built it in the style of the Pokemon like Red and Blue, but it was the card game instead. But you had like, there were clubs instead of gyms, and you would go to them. I don't think there was like a map or anything like that, but you would just fight people over and collect it. And it was, you know, it was a Game Boy game, so it was all self-contained, and there wasn't a second version where you had to trade anything. So as long as you just kept playing, you'd get everything. And it was a great way to learn how to play the game. And then it was just a great, you know, it was really fun, because the card game is very fun at its core. And then I have played the more modern, like online version that they have, you know, similar to the Magic the Gathering that I've played, Arena. It's just not as fun, though, because there's just a lot to keep up with now, and then you do have to pay real money for cards, and that's not nearly as fun. I'm already paying real money for real cards. So.
For real cards.
Although every pack you buy, when you buy a booster pack, it gives you a little, you know, like QR code, coupon code thing, and if you go online and you register with the make an account, you can put that in and you'll get a pack online. So like every real pack translates into a digital pack too. So that's kind of cool. No nickel and diming there.
Nice. It's a good thing Nintendo didn't get the inclination to charge for the cards back then digitally.
That's true, man. They would have, but who wouldn't? To be fair, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon cards, cool. I'm trying to let's see. What do I want? I have to get an Ampharos because that's like one of my favorite Pokemon, and then my daughter has a Clobbopus, which is this little baby octopus with punching like boxing gloves because it's a fighting type, and she won't give it to me, and so I keep trying to find stuff to take it from her, but she won't. And then my wife has like a little puppy Pokemon that she won't give up to my daughter, and so it's this triangle strategy of Pokemon.
You gotta get a triangle trade. Yeah.
And I said that, I was like, well, I want this, and if I can get the dog from my wife, I know she'll give it to me, so I got to figure out what I got to get the dog. It's a whole thing.
That's always the most fun part about that is like you really do. It's gonna sound lame, but you get this thing, you gotta catch them all. You do. It's primal.
Yeah. And the new game comes out, and I don't know what kind of like time frame it takes. Like they might have it like ready to go, or even beforehand, because it's just a machine at this point. The way they pump out the anime and the toys and the cards and the games. But we've got Scarlet and Violet coming out this fall, so surely the new card sets are going to be coming along with them. And so that'll be fun to do for like the first time, of a new pack and stuff coming out while everybody's into it.
Is Scarlet and Violet the one that's going to be more like a mainline classic
the more
game,
traditional
but in the style
attempt.
of Arceus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so down. Luke and I we're getting into that for
Sweet.
sure.
Yeah, no doubt I'll be picking that one up for sure. All right, let's get to the main event, Jason.
Hold on. Do you want to talk at Kirby at all or nah?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Talk about Kirby first.
We haven't talked about Kirby.
Yeah, let's talk about Kirby.
I know you've played it. I've played it.
Mm-hmm. Tell us, you've been playing it with your son, right?
I did. We're on the final world.
Nice.
And what I will give a lot of praise to it because there are so many. It's a fun, legitimately fun game. My son is totally into it. He went to Target 2 days ago, and they decorated, the big giant red balls. In front of the store.
Yeah, I saw someone post that.
Yep, they decorated him as Kirby, and Luke went there with my wife, and he was so stoked, and he made her take his picture next to it.
So cute.
She sent it to me. But yeah, so Kirby's been a great game.
Now you got him to play Kirby and Smash Bros. And then just destroy him over and over again.
Crushing, right? But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. He makes me play as player 2, so I don't get to be Kirby. But even playing as player 2 is pretty fun. I will say it's a little annoying how beholden that little Waddle Dee is to Kirby. Like you can't move without within a certain range of it.
Mm-hmm.
You go one step beyond, you just get transported back. Sometimes like Luke will jump off a cliff and then I get transported into the pit. So there's stuff like that, but the abilities are really neat. I mean, I had not played a Kirby game since 64. And
that was not a great Kirby game.
It was not.
Right, exactly. And before that, it was like, Super Nintendo ones. So, this has been, legitimately, I don't know what your experience is, Karch, with playing with Juliet, but this has been a fun one to play 2-player in.
Mm-hmm.
Really has.
I was really impressed with the co-op. Yeah, she makes me play as Waddle Dee. She gets to play as Kirby.
I figured.
That's how that goes.
I wish they would have given the Waddle Dee just like some other abilities other than just the javelin, because it does get a little redundant. And they have to know that the kid's not going to want to be the Waddle Dee. The kid's going to want to be the Kirby.
Yeah, it's the little brother.
This makes me think of my wife and I when we played through Halo 3, and I was like, all right, we're going to do this, but you have to be second player because I'm going to be Master Chief. You can be the Arbiter.
Yeah, it's the
like that
digital game design equivalent of a Mad Catz controller. That's what Waddle Dee is.
Oh,
yes.
And you give it to your little brother, and you make him play that when you guys play co-op.
Right, and that could potentially work, but they have to think of us adults who've been playing Kirby since we were little, now wanting to buy it and play with our kids. They got to think about that.
They did. They gave us the
first
co-op
time. I know, but
they did think about you. They got your money. They were happy.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, and it's so cool. Luke understands the game loop. He's like, we're gonna beat this level. We gotta get this mini Waddle Dees. We gotta beat the boss. Then we're gonna go back. We're gonna heal up by taking a nap. We're gonna upgrade our abilities. We're gonna go do the little mini game where we work at the restaurant. We're gonna go fishing, He is freaking loving that little hub world, Waterloo world.
People, I mean, it looks really cute. So
It's incredible. Like, it reminds me of the Chows from Sonic Adventure 2. Like, what
nice.
we, the way that we loved that so much is how much he loves the hub world. So it's really cute to see. The evolved abilities are awesome, and the difficulty curve has been fantastic. We've been on easy mode the entire time, and now that we're in the final world, it's legitimately tough, especially with him being first player, because I can't do the little set piece puzzles where you have to be this certain ability, you have to do it at a certain time. Luke wants to do that himself. And so coaching him through that is fun, and it's extremely rewarding when we figure it out. The difficulty curve has been perfect. And this final world feels like the hardest part in the best way. It's not out of his reach, but we're going to friggin' beat it. Like, next week, we're going to beat it. So
Sweet.
Nice.
Digging Kirby. Digging Kirby. We're at the $60, especially if you want to. I wouldn't buy it for myself, but if you're playing with somebody younger, it's fun.
All right, now for the main event. Now that the sponsorship is over, Jason, we made a bet that you could not play and finish a game over 10 hours by the month of June.
We gave him,
or
6 months
July.
to do it. We made the bet in January.
You made a bet in January, and you did it. You passed.
I did it.
And what game did you choose, Jason?
Mass Effect 1.
Nice. And did you like it?
Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. It was the best game that I have personally played and completed since The Last of Us Part 2.
Not even Hades?
Okay.
I would rate Mass Effect certainly higher than Hades.
No.
I
I mean, the one that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I mean, so it's been a long time since my inner gamer has been awakened like it was with this game. And part of that was I sold my Ultrabook, a Surface Laptop 3, and I bought a gaming laptop. It was a less expensive one, and it's bulky and it's heavy and it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it plays Mass Effect. It's got a 3050 Ti in it. So it's not a piece of crap laptop. My point is that in combination with I went on a business trip and I was gone for 2 weeks and I was sitting in my hotel room for like 12 hours a day by myself. That combination awakened my inner gamer that I haven't felt in the longest time. I love the game.
Nice. So let's start with the basics. Tell us about your Shepard.
Okay. So everybody talks about their Shepard, their version of Shepard. It could be the female version of Shepard or the male version of Shepard, and you give it a personality, you give it a look. Mine looked like a young my cousin Vinny, and he was his name was Johnny Shepard. He's a young cop from the Bronx at heart anyway. And essentially his mindset was he does whatever it takes to get the job done. So he, at the end of the day, he might not be the most likable person, although I think in Mass Effect 1, and we'll talk about it as we go through, because Johnny developed, he arced, and I think he wanted to be too neutral.
So real quick, you get some backgrounds there. So it sounds like, did you pick Earther?
Yeah, I picked Earther.
And then probably War Hero, I'm guessing?
I think so. That's the one where you go to the... we should spoiler tag this.
I mean, it's Mass Effect 1.
I don't think anybody's going to be
Mass
upset.
Effect 1.
We already did a spoiler cast on Mass Effect.
You're right.
Someone's got to listen
fair
first.
warning to anybody. If you don't want to hear every single detail about Mass Effect 1, back out right now. Okay. So yeah, I was an Earther, and my background was War Hero. It's the one where you go to the planet, and something bad happened, and you made it out alive, but you kind of did something weird about like the way that you may have abandoned your team.
You sacrificed your troops in oror to achieve victory.
Ruthless.
Right.
It was ruthless.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
They do you too little justice.
Zap Brannigan.
I don't know.
In your class?
Soldier.
Soldier.
Because I just felt like that was Johnny. Like Johnny's gonna rush in there, and I don't know if he's necessarily to the point of shoot first, ask questions later. Because he is, I would say he is, he's a force for justice. Like he is a cop at his core.
Your description makes me think of Will Smith and Wild Wild West. Shoot some more, and once everyone's dead, try to ask a question or two.
Yes, I think that's pretty much. Johnny tries real hard. He does want to be on the side of good, right? He is on the side of good. But yeah, yep, you nailed it right there.
So, what was your preferred weapon?
So, funny enough, and you can go watch the first video I ever did on this. I was coming off of playing Halo, and I had gotten so into Halo, and I was like mouse and keyboard, and I'm like, I've just got this precision, and I could just see it. I just had the vision, which you have to hone it in and lock it in and really feel it. So I was a sniper for the first one, and I was scoping in, and I was like one-shotting things. I would just like no scope. I just shoot. Anyway, so it was the sniper for the kind of beginning part of the game. But then when it got really heavy into the harder cover shooter, but you'd also have enemies rush in, you just can't do a sniper anymore. You just can't, because you'll get killed with, by Krogans and melee things and drones and stuff like that. So I had to go with shotgun, because shotgun was amazing. There was this weird thing with the range on the shotgun is freakishly far in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah,
Space
because
shotgun.
It's individual pellets getting fired off, and they basically don't have a damage drop off. It's their grouping spreads out.
Right.
But there's a couple shotguns where the grouping stays tight even at distances. So yeah, it gets pretty broken.
It doesn't feel the same in Mass Effect 2. Like the shotgun doesn't feel as like
it's
effective. And also you've got ammo constraints, but we won't go too much into Mass Effect 2 right now. Stay focused on 1. So yeah, sniper in the beginning and then transition to shotgun.
So overall, how did you enjoy the gameplay and the combat?
So at the beginning, I hated it.
It's pretty
and
typical.
at the end, I loved it, but thought it could be refined.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're in luck, because that's what the series does.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm learning that little by little. But like, I had a lot of problems with AI in the first game, and it's probably just some of what we've talked about. It's somewhat my play style. But I, as a cover shooter, I would always want to like advance, and the way that the level design is, they give you cover, but there's definitely more in the back than there is as you progress toward the enemy, right? And so as I'm progressing up, my squad wants to come with me, but there's maybe only one little concrete barrier for cover, so I can only get behind there, and they're just standing there shooting.
Oh, you made the mistake of not placing your squad mates before you advanced.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So
It does teach you how to do that in the
so.
opening tutorial.
Yeah, I never did it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I know it does in Mass Effect 2. I just, for some reason, I don't remember it in Mass Effect 1. I'm sure it does. But yeah, again, it was a playstyle thing. It was a Jason thing. I feel like most casual gamers, that's probably how they're going to play. And I don't think, obviously you can still beat the game if you don't do it, but you're not being as tactical, and you're kind of not using your strategies to your advantage, I guess.
Yeah, so the thing about Mass Effect 1, and you'll see it compared to 2, is Mass Effect 1 is much more dependent upon, because you have so many more of them than you ever will in 2, your abilities. So you're really wanting to use your abilities very heavily in Mass Effect 1.
And I only found out halfway through the game that you could aim the abilities. I thought if I was selecting it for the person, they would just do it.
Nope.
What I didn't realize is you have to aim and add an enemy, and I realized that way too late.
Yeah.
It's probably, again, something they teach you in the opening tutorial, but I was so focused on the story and getting the lore and trying to figure out my character and all this other stuff, I kind of I ignored some of that intro. And I was filming too, which didn't help, because I felt like I needed to pace it a little better.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So obviously Mass Effect is all about the decisions. You want to hit us with a couple of your favorite decisions and how they shaped your Johnny.
Before that, talk us to squad mates. Who'd you love? Who'd you hate?
Well, some of this is going to get into decisions that I make down the road.
Perfect.
But in terms of personality, I really liked Garrus. He and I developed a relationship where it was like, we do what it takes, and That's why he left the Alliance, and that's why I wanted to become a Spectre, is because I wanted to be able to play by my own rule set and do whatever I need to do to accomplish the mission, always in the favor of the greater good.
Left CSEC.
No, that's just Johnny. Yeah, sorry, he left CSEC, not at the... Well, yeah, he left CSEC.
Don't correct him. Don't correct him.
No, I could take a correct.
No, I'm saying don't correct Sean.
Oh, you're right.
He's going to be correct about Mass Effect.
Son, just don't.
So Garrus and I hit it off, and then like I will say my favorite loadout was probably Ashley and Caden, with his abilities that he like especially toward like the I would say like the third
act.
Yeah, the third act. That section, I don't know. There was something about her combat ability and his biotic that helped me out, especially against the Geth. And Ashley's a tank, and I was a soldier, so it just kind of worked out. Especially since I wasn't being as tactical, I found I needed that extra combat push.
Yeah, and she has pretty high hit points, and even without modifying your armor, passive health regeneration, which probably helped you out quite a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, and also I was trying to romance her a little bit, and so I thought maybe if she came with me, like, I don't know, I thought maybe that helped for some reason.
Jason never met a red flag he couldn't ignore.
Yep. She's really racist. That is honestly the reason I stopped pursuing her.
Sure.
Because I was pursuing Liara.
If they say about once you go blue.
You don't know what to do.
Right. You're like, do we hug? What do we do?
You embrace
eye
eternity.
contact
Clearly,
It's time for mind meld.
I love a good mind meld.
Mind snoo.
Mind
The
no,
best kind.
that comes later. That does come later.
The brain is bruised and weak. More Zap Brannigan lines. All right, now we can get into some decision making.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's some quick rapid fire ones. Raknai Queen.
I don't.
Doesn't even remember.
The giant bug thing.
And you had to decide whether or not to kill it and make its kind extinct.
Yep.
Correct.
I killed it.
Why?
Because Johnny does whatever needs to be done.
But why
to
did Johnny need to preserve what? What's he preserving?
It was said that it could be used as a weapon.
Uh-huh.
And so I killed it because I didn't want Saren to have that as a weapon.
Okay. All right. So cool. We just murder sentient beings. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. You're just as bad as Ashley, man. I'm just saying.
It's like,
no, she would
Ouch.
do it. She would do it because she just didn't like the way they looked.
That's not true at all. That's not the character
if it
at
was
all.
docile, if I didn't find out through the course of that mission that was a weapon and it was just a thing that they had captured and I didn't know what it was for, then I probably would have let it go.
That makes even less sense. Johnny sounds like an idiot.
I don't think Johnny picked up on all the details there, but all right. Moving on. More importantly, did you punch the reporter?
I didn't punch the reporter. I
hate Johnny.
Interview.
He's terrible.
Punching the reporter is overrated.
Listen,
it is.
Johnny,
I actually don't. I also don't punch the reporter. I put her in her place. But.
I punched her.
Listen.
Good job, Robert.
Robert would punch her.
Friends. I'm gonna live vicariously through Robert. Don't punching reporters.
Listen, no, hold on. I just want to say this. Johnny tried to stay a little too neutral. So by the end of the game...
But he does whatever it takes.
Yeah, he does whatever it takes, but he tries to do that by being nice to everyone.
Yeah,
Johnny
he's
says, but both sides.
I guess on terms of being neutral, how many times did you hang up on the council?
None.
You never hung up on the council?
Nope.
He's a law-abiding citizen.
Oh
he's got to answer to his superiors.
I'm glad I didn't watch this.
I was trying to be very politically expedient.
Okay.
And that was Johnny. He was trying to negotiate his way through things because he didn't want to have to kill everything, and then it just happened. Okay.
Okay. So on didn't want to kill everything, but it just happened on Pharos, which is the planet with like the fungus plant thing that can take over people's minds. Did you kill all the colonists?
No, I saved them actually.
Oh, okay. Good job, Johnny.
I lost 2, but that wasn't my fault.
That's fine. It happens.
I think 2. I think you can kill 3 before you fail the objective, if I recall.
Assuming you want to save them,
because that was what Johnny wanted to save them. Johnny had the opportunity to do the right thing. Johnny pretty much more or less did the right thing, but he just didn't go Paragon enough for some reason. And I think part of it was like I didn't catch on to the like high, medium, low thing until way too late.
You said yourself
the upper right, center, and right bottom are all very obviously the Paragon neutral renegade.
Exactly. I didn't catch on to that until way late in the game. And so like the middle response a lot of times sounded like because Johnny was trying to be politically expedient.
Well, it sounds like you did catch. It sounds like you did catch on. You wanted to be neutral, so you kept picking the neutral options.
Yes. Yeah, I did. I guess I just didn't realize that it literally you could just be like
Johnny lacks conviction is what I'm hearing.
He doesn't lack conviction. He has conviction for doing ultimately the right thing no matter what it takes, and sometimes it takes being neutral. You know? You can't
sometimes,
what drives a man to neutrality?
And sometimes it takes requisitioning 1 bullet in order to get security to back off.
I'm just saying what Johnny did, okay?
So before we get to Vermeer, because a lot of things happen at Vermeer, do Karch and Robert have anything else they want to ask after?
No, I
Okay.
disagree with most of Johnny's decisions. We'll just say that, I think.
So Jason, Vermeer is the kind of the big mission where you find Saren's base.
Yep.
The first thing I want to talk about, so there's a big reveal on Vermeer. You find out what Sovereign really is.
Yes.
And we haven't really talked about the story of the game and Saren and Sovereign. How did you feel about all that? Especially how did you feel about that interaction with Sovereign?
So here's the thing. I was wondering what was ultimately behind, like, why is Saren acting like this?
Yep.
And all you had the breadcrumbs, you had the mind control, you had this thing with like how the oh gosh, what was her name? The matriarch. How she was like
Benenzia.
Right, and how she was like kind of possessed and like had to do, and at the time I thought it had to do what Saren was telling her to do, and I thought Saren was using this mind control thing, but I was like, but what is Saren's motivation? Like, I understand the threat of the Reapers, but at the same time it just didn't all come together for me until this point where I got to interact with Sovereign, and it made me so mad how laissez-faire the council was, because they didn't want to hold Saren accountable at all, and they didn't believe in the threat of the Reapers, and it was driving me absolutely crazy because I'm like, you stupid idiots, this is your existence. Can't you just give me anything, any resources, like anything? And then I talk to Sovereign, and I think I have the proof. I have the proof the council's going to need. Like, this is insane. This is crazy. I've pieced it all together. I understand the through line. I get why Saren's doing what he's doing. He's a tool. And I told Saren he was a tool. It pissed him off.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a big moment. I loved this moment of the game, and I did every single dialogue option that I could. I was like, oh my gosh, this story is incredible.
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Were there any sections you wished were decisions that they might have like railroaded you into? Where you were like, man, I wish I could have chosen to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about which of my teammates died? Because
no, that was a choice. I want to talk about stuff that you had no control over, if there was any. Like,
I guess, I think BioWare did such a good job of giving me the illusion of agency that I don't even know that I know where they railroaded me.
Gotcha.
So let's back up a little bit to the start of that Vermeer mission, because things get pretty heavy. So you find out Saren is cloning Krogan, and you got a Krogan in your party. You got Rex.
Rex.
Big old Uncle Erdnot there.
Mm-hmm.
How did So you haven't talked about Rex. So what did you think of Rex?
Rex was my boy.
Yeah.
Rex is a good one.
Did you
I
get
loved Rex.
Did you get Rex ancestral armor?
See, no, I didn't, because I didn't realize that talking to my crew would unlock missions until way late in the game when I got one of Garrus's. And I was like, oh, man, because I was just kind of mainlining it. I didn't realize you had to go down the elevator and go find people and talk to them, and it actually mattered.
You mean you didn't get stuck in a constant loop of Shepard? Rex?
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Sad.
Never.
So you only experienced half the game.
So then how did that interaction with Rex play out for you?
It was bad. So we get to now this is maybe one where, Karch, to answer your question, maybe I feel like I got railroaded, because we land on Vermeer, we find out about we kind of know about the Krogan cloning thing, and then we have these like quote unquote people that were coming to help, or they're gonna help us, or whatever it is.
Karahe.
And basically it forced me to say, even when I think I picked the neutral option, maybe it forced me to kind of insult and not care about like this genetic disease that the Krogan have been given, and how like I don't care about the cure. I don't care about saving the cure. I don't care that Saren's figured out a cure for the reproductive issues of the Krogan, because like it's too dangerous. Like that's how I came off. I didn't want to come off like that, but I pissed Rex off. And then I went to go calm him down, and I'm talking to him, and he's getting super pissed, and he pulls his weapon. I don't draw my weapon. I'm trying to calm the situation down. Ashley shows up, and she's like antagonistic. I'm trying to calm her down. So I basically am like, stand down. I've got this. And then like all of a sudden Rex is something to me. I'm trying to de-escalate, and Ashley shot him.
What a terrible leader
I
you
didn't
are.
signal. Huh?
I said, what a terrible leader you are.
I suppose so. My people are not in line at all.
I mean, you were the middle of the road guy. You lacked conviction for them to fall in line behind you.
I did, and that's what I learned, because I was staying.
It's one of the
way
few
too
games that they get. It doesn't do it very often, but it gives you some definite consequences for for sometimes playing the good guy, and certainly sometimes playing the neutral guy, and not just consequences for being the bad guy. Not that the game is really set up to be bad and good. It's Paragon and Renegade, but
right, yeah,
which is more like they're different. You're Shepard. You're always good.
How do you sleep at night?
I don't.
Okay.
I miss Rex. And you know what I did after Rex died? I got so mad. I said, I actually stopped playing the game for a minute. And I texted you guys, and I was like, I hate Ashley so much, and I hope she dies. I wish there was a way that I could make Ashley die.
He said almost those exact words.
What's hilarious is you missed out on the Karch and I side text amongst all of this.
Yeah,
because we're sitting there, every decision you're making, and we're like, oh god, he's gonna run into this down the line. I wonder what he's gonna. So the moment you were like, I wish Ashley could die and I could kill her, we're like, oh well.
I was worried you weren't. I was really worried you weren't gonna kill her.
If Rex, if that interaction hadn't happened, who would you have picked between Ashley and Caden?
I would have picked to sacrifice Caden.
Oh man, poor not emotional issues, personality of white bread man. Just gets so much hate.
Caden sucks. Caden deserves it. They both deserve to die, but I killed Caden my most recent playthrough, and felt good. Felt good.
Yeah. So when they asked who's gonna go with this, what's his name?
Karahe with the Solarians.
Yeah, with the Solarians. When they asked who was gonna go, it was an easy decision. I was like, Ashley's gonna go. Ashley's gonna go. And she'll be great. She'll be great. And then I was like, I don't give a about her. Like, I don't care at all. And then when I was invariably like the decision. Oh, and let me say this too. Part of it was that I thought Caden was more necessary to detonate the nuke. And
yeah, I always assign them the way that you did, because in my mind, Ashley as a Marine is going to be better for ground combat with the Solarians, and Caden as my tech is the guy I'm going to want on the nuke. So I usually end up assigning them I think I'm
don't think it
on
matters,
my
though, right?
2 playthroughs. I've assigned them that way both times.
If Rex is alive at that point, is he an option to send anywhere? Or
No,
No, it's always
he's just
your 2
in your
humans.
party.
what if you have Rex in your party?
Then he's in your party.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you get to say
No,
if you can go with the
no, you
Solarians?
No, it's always the 2. It's just the 2 humans that you get to pick.
Gotcha. See, there's some of this that I don't know how it plays out. So yeah, I sent Ashley there, and then when I was posed with the decision, or like, am I going to sacrifice Caden or am I going to sacrifice Ashley? Well, Caden was at the nuke, and I need that to blow up because I need this place to blow up so Saren's not successful.
The whole reason Johnny came there.
Exactly. And so that was it. Johnny's getting the job done, man. Johnny always gets his man. And so that was like, okay, Caden, of course. Although, and I'm pissed at Ashley. But here's the thing. If I had told Ashley to be at the nuke, I probably would have had to save her.
That's despicable.
Why?
I get it. You got to protect the nuke.
Everything.
Disgusting.
I am trying to save not just humanity. And that's the thing. Johnny doesn't just want to save humanity. It tried to keep pushing me into that. But that's not what Johnny's about. Johnny is about civilization.
He's a traitor.
Which is funny because there's definite dialogue options that let you be more about that, but you somehow kept picking the ones that made him respond like he was human first.
Well, I don't know. Johnny tries. A lot of those conversations were with humans, and so I tried to be like, no, of course I care about humans, but I care about everybody.
Sounds like Johnny just needs to listen. It's that talk.
It sounds like Johnny is not interested in being someone everyone looks up to. He just wants people to be happy with him.
Maybe he just doesn't want to be a burden, Sean.
Look, my Samantha Shepard, she was happy to be a burden as long as she was getting the job done in the way she thought it was best.
Yeah.
Myth Shepard would be very upset with you.
What is there any what happens if you don't kill that one species thing like way back? Did anything happen there?
It's a future spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just put it this way: every major decision. So the and even a bunch of the small ones are going to come back either in Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3. Almost all of them.
Good Lord.
You're gonna have a very different playthrough than Karch and I.
Definitely.
Johnny has some repenting to do.
So let's see. So then we go to Ilos, where we get our big reveal about the Protheans, our second kind of big reveal of the game, that the Protheans were not the creators of the mass relay and all that.
Right.
And that they were wiped out by the Reapers, and actually the mass relay was an invention of the Reapers. Which that segment's always fun, but it's also not quite as the Vermeer is definitely combat. Is a bigger moment. I always thought than Ilos.
Well, let me ask you this. Sorry, in terms of, because I think in between there, I went and did the moon base, shut down the AI.
The
there.
AI, okay.
Yeah. What happens if you don't do that? Is that a future spoiler?
That also has not serious, but it is referenced back in later games.
Okay, that's funny because I did get, and I didn't realize this at the time, but I did get to be a shock trooper after that, which you don't get that if you
do it. Yeah, that mission is where you pick up your subclass.
Right.
Yeah, I loved that. I love that because it punishes you without you knowing about it, and that's. I mean, those consequences have inspired me to approach Mass Effect 2 differently, which is ultimately going to arc Johnny's character in a slightly different way that makes him even better. Like Johnny,
we'll see.
This game,
I would be. You're getting a little ahead of yourself that Johnny's going to be a better person, but whatever.
No, he's not. He's going to be a more decisive person.
I hope so, but
it already.
I've seen the decisions he makes. He kills Rex. He murders Rachni. I don't.
The galaxy's going to need it.
He sounds like a less interesting version of Peacemaker from Suicide Squad.
He's so interesting. You stop it right now. You shush your mouth.
Robert not having a lot of comments, but he's dropping the heavy bombs.
All right.
I love peace. I don't care how many people I have to kill to get it.
So Ilos is what you said next.
Yeah. So do you have any thoughts about Ilos before we get to you getting back to the Citadel?
I liked
Did you-
that interaction with
Did
that
you
AI thing.
did you bang Liara?
I did.
Good man.
Very nice.
I did not actually. I somehow accidentally romanced Caden in my Mass Effect.
Can you do that? So what happens if you romance Caden?
Well, I was femshep. Keep in mind.
Oh, okay.
But I was trying to be friendly, and it turned out I romanced, and I was like, oh well, crap.
It's
You
not
probably do
as
that in real
not
life.
as vague in the second one. The second one's pretty like you can't do it till like the near end of the game, and it's this whole thing. You'll see. Council,
so you get through
council.
Yeah, so we get through Ilos. You go through the little mini mass relay where you're now trying to you're on the Citadel, and you got to go get to Saren before he can let Sovereign access the Citadel, which will then it will allow all the Reapers to arrive.
Right.
So there's a big decision there, which is the Destiny Ascension, which is the largest ship in the Citadel fleet, with like 10,000 crewmen or crew Asari on board. Has the council, and it's getting hammered by the Geth, and the Alliance fleet is ready to come through the mass relay and save the day, but you have the option. Do you send them in to save the council and the Destiny Ascension, or do you hold them back and wait to fight for them to strike at the right moment against Saren?
So you already know my attitude against the council from my earlier
I mean, you
comment.
never hung up on them.
I never hung up on them because I needed them to be on my side. I needed to be with them, have them with me, and I wanted to give them every opportunity. And they disappointed me every single time, and they never gave me resources, and they never believed me, and they were jerks to me.
You don't
every
think this
single
would have
time.
engendered you to them?
Even though, no. What do you know? I don't know what that word means, but no. I just thought that if they would just hear me out and I didn't hang up on them, I didn't make them mad, I just tried to be so professional about it and tell them what I've seen, then maybe they'd believe me in time, and they never did. And I don't know why I didn't see it coming, but I didn't. And so at this point in the game, I'm just like, you know what? Screw them. I don't care about them at all.
Man,
and they said to me, they said the words to me. They said they were talking about how I was being too neutral, and they said, I hope that when the time comes and you need to make a decision, you do. And I literally think I texted this to you guys. I was like, I hope the council realizes what they just said. Because I
was wondering in reference to what that text was.
I don't even remember.
I don't think I've ever seen that dialogue. 'Cause I think it varies depending upon your renegade and your paragon level.
Yeah.
I must have been too neutral, and you guys were too one way or the other. And then when they said that to me, I was like, okay.
Were there only
Man,
two options?
It's a bad day to be the 10,000 crewmates on the Destiny Ascension.
Yeah. What?
I honestly didn't realize there were that many. Johnny's not a details guy, you know?
Oh my gosh. Johnny's this, Johnny's that. Johnny's contradicting all.
All right, so council dies.
This is for the greater good. It is. Because this is the only way. This is an existential threat to civilization. I don't care about 8 people who are dicks to me. I'm trying
Plus
to save
10,000.
everybody
10,000.
else.
Also, 3 people. But
Also,
then plus 10,000.
they're the representatives of the rest of the species that aren't humans. You were talking
think
about
that
me.
matters?
You were
Do
talking
you
about me and
underst-
Mr. Political earlier, and now you're killing the biggest political, the most important political force in the galaxy. Yes, you are.
Politically expedient. Doing maybe not politically expedient. It's like self-interestedly expedient. Whatever. I am trying to do. I am trying to be a smooth talker.
So Johnny saw a way to make things even easier for him by making sure the humans now would run the council.
Johnny's about justice. His
Johnny
justice.
No, it wasn't about the
Johnny's
who's the
sleepy.
council.
Johnny, take a nap.
Did you were you able to convince Saren that he was indoctrinated and to shoot himself?
No,
I did. It
I
was
tried.
fun.
I was
It's
such a
great.
jerk to him twice. I never said anything neutral to him. I always went the renegade option against Saren, almost every single time.
All right, so what the
Unless
last
I thought it would endanger me.
What's that?
Unless I thought it would endanger me, I was always a renegade to
gotcha.
Saren.
So the last decision here is who did you now pick to lead the council?
Oh, you know who Johnny. Who do you think Johnny picked?
Only
Come on.
I'm
psychopath.
assuming
Only psychopaths
picked,
put Udina on the council.
That's true. So
Right.
I assume you put Anderson
Cap.
with his sweet
I
Keith
freaking
David
love
voice in
I
charge.
love Cap. Oh my gosh, I love Anderson. Oh, we didn't even talk about this. Oh, there was another decision where you had to decide if Anderson was going to try to like be sneaky about a way that he did something, or if he was going to go into.
Oh yeah, or he just decks Udina.
Yep. And
I forgot about
picked
that one because I always deck Udina.
I decked Udina, and then when it was the option, I was like, "Screw you, dude! You've been a jerk to me this entire time. You think I want you on the council? No. Cap he's the one who got me to be a sentinel, and they've been nothing but disrespectful
Spectre.
to him the entire freaking game, man. They made him not even be allowed to be on my ship.
Yeah, he had to retire.
Yeah.
No.
And that was the start of it. And then from that point on, I was like, anything this guy wants me to do, I'm doing. Anything he asks me to do.
And Anderson is pretty wonderful.
Yeah,
With
they
that,
don't.
we
They
can
don't
all
make
agree
it.
with Johnny Shepard.
They don't make Udina compelling at all.
No.
And that's the problem with all the decisions in the game, because like the Rex one's not as much a decision as it is just like
It's an outcome of things you've done
other
prior.
activities, right?
Yeah.
Like all the decisions they're not hard to make. It's just which one do you want, you know? And it like
Yeah.
going back to way earlier to my triangle strategy discussion is like, okay, I want this one, but these two are also really good with their own consequences. Whereas Mass Effect is like, this one is this one, this one is this one, and there
I
are
would
no
argue
consequences.
that the saving the council is pretty good because they make a compelling case of
Yes.
like, hey, this is going to severely weaken our fleet, and we may not be able to then also fight Sovereign.
Right.
So do you beat Sovereign if you pick the other?
There's no
Yeah.
lost state. You're not like there's no game
but
over.
But there are consequences to it in the later games.
Right.
Okay. So, okay.
So you liked it.
I loved it.
How many Metroid Dreads?
All of them.
All the Metroid Dreads. Okay.
No, you know what? It wasn't a perfect game. Narratively, it was impeccable. I loved the arc of my story, and I think what's so great about it is that, like I said earlier, it's going to influence the way I played 2 and 3 because I didn't like the narrative outcome of everything Johnny did, but I thought that that's what it was going to take to get the missions completed,
Yeah.
and ultimately save civilization. That's all Johnny wanted to do, but he just went about it in such a way, and now it's like you said, you're always good, right? And I still have the same goal as I'm going, into the next game. It's just I'm going to approach it differently.
And there's no doubt that these are BioWare at their best. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 is BioWare better than they were ever, than they were before, and better than they've ever been since. And part of that is because the level of agency in this game, even compared to something like a Witcher 3 or whatnot, is just so much better. And that ability of feeling like you have kind of control over what the character is doing and consequences throughout the course of the game.
And I love the way it carries
Yeah.
Carries.
through the trilogy.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's incredible.
That's pretty cool.
I don't think many games did anything like that.
No, they
prior
don't.
to
Still
this.
don't.
Yeah, and especially to release as close to each other as they did.
Yeah.
I know that's incredible. I think part of that was scale, and really understanding the scope of what you wanted to do, but giving the player at least the illusion of a large amount of agency. All work to their advantage, right? But it's still freaking well done.
So you're playing Mass Effect 2 right now.
No, hold up
well,
before
let's
we
talk
get there.
about it.
Well, no,
Yeah.
okay.
So you won the bet. Congratulations.
I won the bet.
But I offered double or nothing,
Oh, that's right.
and you said you were gonna get back to me on the pod because like Sean
I am.
said, you started Mass Effect 2, and then you were being Jason about it. You're like, oh, but I want to do this. Can we pause the bet? Blah blah. No, we're not pausing the bet. You've either won or
Right.
we're doing double or nothing.
Yeah. Right.
So are we
And-
doubling or nothing?
what is double or nothing? So if it's double, that means you have to buy the what is double?
If it's double or nothing and you win again, you are able to complete a second game, whatever game that is. If it's Mass Effect 2, that's fine. Doesn't have to be. It has to be over 10 hours. And that's really the only stipulation. You got to roll credits. If you do that, then I have to pay double. If you fail, the bet is a wash. That's the nothing part.
Okay. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. Last night, I played another session of Mass Effect 2 to make my ultimate decision because it's either between Mass Effect 2 or it's between Guardians, which is on Xbox Game Pass. The thing about Guardians is it takes me so long to beat a game that I want to make sure I start Guardians as soon as I can, or it may be off Game Pass by the time I get to it. But at the same time, I'm really, really digging Mass Effect, and I don't want to forget. I don't want to lose my muscle memory on it, and I don't want to lose my knowledge of the story so that I see the through lines. And this Double or Nothing, it's been actually hard because I was automatically, after I knew I was relinquished from the bed, I was like, okay, I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy. But after last night's session, I think I'm going to take you up on the bet.
All right. Double or Nothing. It's official.
Nice. And just for when the bet is done, Jason, I have Guardians on Steam, so you have access to it too. Just in case it gets off Game Pass. So there you go.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well that makes it even better. That's a no-brainer. So Double or Nothing, and I think I have until July 6th.
Sean's got it, but yeah, it's somewhere in July.
I got it. Yep, I'll get it put back in my phone since I had checked off the reminder and had it back in.
Don't give him extra time.
Since I took a picture of it to send to you guys to say that it had been done. So right. I will take care of that.
Thank you.
I have one request as you play through Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
The final mission of Mass Effect 2. Not gonna mention it or what it is, but you'll know it. What the final mission is. That you have to record.
You absolutely have to record.
Okay.
It's a lengthy section. It might take you multiple sessions, but it's not. Yeah. But no more than probably like 2, 3 at the absolute max, depending on how short you play. But you have to record it. Absolutely.
But it is one of the best final missions in a game. But just as there were some culminations of decisions there in Vermar, there's a lot of culminations of decisions in that final mission. And I want to see how they play out.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. The beginning, okay, I'm going to say spoilers for Mass Effect 2, the first 2 hours. I have to talk about this.
Sure. You don't want to just go beat it. Go beat it. We'll have a podcast about it.
Okay.
No, I got to ask you something because so you're 2 hours in and you didn't make any mention of this. So I have to know that you understand what happened. You don't seem to care that Shepard dies.
He does.
You don't seem to care that you died and came back to life. Not like, my heart stopped, but like your ship exploded, you were ejected into space, and then this part might not be known yet, but the essential part is that you your body crash landed on a planet. You're a husk.
Right.
You don't care?
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't bother you?
I thought Johnny was strong enough to not really be fully dead. And he had that suit on and everything.
No, he's dead. He's dead. You can't retcon Johnny to be some sort of superhero.
You were dead for 2 years. You it's been 2 years, right?
I thought I was just being, I was in a coma.
He can't animate. He's not so strong that he somehow held on to life like an anime character, which would be badass.
You were literally bleeding air out of your suit, and then you burnt up going back into the planet, and then impacted.
And then
I know.
2 layers later.
Believe me, I am skeptical of the organization. We don't even have to say the organization's name. I'm skeptical. I am skeptical, but I am grateful that I'm conscious, and I don't fully know what that means yet. But Johnny's a changed person going into this game for me. I will tell you that. Johnny's decisive. He's not a fence runner.
Johnny's gotten a second chance at life.
Have you come across any of the QuickTime morality events yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I actually I did. I'm like 2 Paragon, 1 Renegade, because that's all it gave me.
You do know you don't have to pick one. Like when they're the QuickTime, you can just not do anything and the scene will go on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But like on one, I swear there's only one side choice.
Yeah, sometimes there is. And that's why you can just not pick one and you don't have to pick a trigger.
But in that moment, Johnny still wanted to do the right thing.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want you to think that you always had to squeeze the trigger. You don't have to.
No, I understand.
It's usually pretty cool though.
It felt right to do what Johnny did.
It does result in one of my favorite scenes in the entire game. So,
all right,
makes me nervous.
Well, there you have it. Jason beat a game once in a blue moon. It happens every now and then.
Wow.
Yep.
Once every Reaper cycle, Jason finishes a game.
Wow. It's every 50,000 years.
Hmm.
You finished a book and you finished a game, all within the span of like
did.
a week of each other.
It's because I went on 2 business trips. I had so.
I'm going to talk to your boss and
time.
have him just like put you on the road 24/7.
We're gonna get you constantly on the road. I'm gonna get you deployed.
Then
You'll
you
be
won't be
gone
on the
for
podcast, which
6
is
to
great
12
for
months.
us.
I
And
still
then
need decent Wi-Fi, guys.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. Sign us off.
Okay. Later, skater. I love this podcast. I love video games, and I love you 3 lovely NFers. You all have a fantastic week. We will try, but we are never free to play.
Jason, real quick, give me Johnny Shepard's best. I should go.
Okay, hold on. I gotta move him. I should go.